this is often childbearing occurs before a girl's pelvis has had time to fully develop, and this, coupled with likely malnutrition, means that the risk of obstructed labour and obstetric fistula in adolescent girls is considerably higher. As I mentioned previously, treatment for obstetric fistula is available through reconstructive surgery, which is successful in 80 to 90% of cases, and 60% where the cases are more complicated. Following successful surgery, women can resume full and productive lives, and many go on to have additional children. According to the UN Population Fund, any treatment of obstetric fistula must incorporate counselling and rehabilitative support. This is in order to address the emotional damage which often goes along with a condition like this, and also there is a need to facilitate social reintegration, as many women find that they have been isolated or alienated from families and communities, owing to the horrific nature and the lack of understanding surrounding the condition. The holistic treatment of obstetric fistula is estimated to cost in the region of 5,000 rupees, and while the National Rural Health Mission has enumerated the diagnosis and treatment of obstetric fistula at community health centres, anecdotal evidence suggests that these services are not fully being provided. There is a belief that the failure to provide services in terms of treatment and diagnosis for obstetric fistula might be related to a lack of medical expertise and knowledge in this area. The director of the UN Population Fund has said, while there are many doctors in the West who are capable of treating this ailment, there are very few qualified professionals in, say, India, Bangladesh or Nigeria, where the need is high. Unfortunately, the reality is also that the women most likely to be affected by obstetric fistula, the poor, marginalised, vulnerable, the young, the illiterate, they're also the least likely to know that treatment is available, and even if they do know it's available, are the least likely to be in a position to access it. I would like to draw your attention at this stage to a specific case of obstetric fistula, which was the subject of Human Rights Law Network petition, which was initiated in March 2009. This was done in collaboration with Health Watch Forum, with the petitioner in the cases we heard. And also at this point, I'd just like to mention that the senior advocate on this case, KK Roy, is not available to be here today and present this case because he's recovering from eye surgery. So you have me. Jacinda has given you a good synopsis of the case facts. So in the interest of time, and I know that we're short, I'm going to skip through the facts again. Of course, this will be available on our website, as is the case for all of the cases that HRL are covering. So I'm going to skip to the legal arguments. So basically, in a nutshell, the petition contends that the central government and state of Uttar Pradesh has violated Salenta's constitutionally protected right to life, including health and dignity, equality and non-discrimination. And this is on the ground that she unnecessarily suffered prolonged, debilitating and stigmatizing pregnancy-related injury as a direct result of the wholly inadequate quality of care she received at the public or the primary health centre at the time of delivery, but also due to the negligence and subsequent lack of diagnosis and treatment of her condition. There are so many failures on the part of the primary health centre and indeed other government-run healthcare institutions. I'm just going to list a few. The failure of the auxiliary nurse midwife to manage Salenta's labour in any way, or had she managed the labour, it would have become apparent that Salenta required assistance, and more than likely an emergency referral with transport in order to get to a first referral unit or a community health centre that is equipped to deal with caesarean sections. The failure of the public health, primary health centre to perform a medical examination prior to Salenta being discharged, which, as was mentioned, she left the hospital with absolutely no assessment of her well-being or of the child's. And as mentioned, another failure is the failure to diagnose the viscovaginal fistula. That was on the part of the primary health out on the almost complete failure to implement the service guarantees under the National Rural Health Mission, and of particular savings for this case. The guarantees are for free treatment, skilled birth attendance, emergency obstetric care, appropriate and prompt referral for cases needing specialist care, pre-referral management, and the training of staff for emergencies, such as Salentis, had it been recognised. There's also a complete failure to implement the JSY scheme, which was discussed yesterday, or to comply with its rules, particularly the stipulation that informal payment from patients is strictly banned. As you have been informed on a number of occasions, improper demands for payment in exchange for things that agreements midwife discharging Salenta and indeed for purchase injections, which of course runs contrary to the service guarantee of free medical care, including medication for all patients below the poverty line. The petition also highlights that the treatment or the non-treatment, in this case, received by Salenta breaches the range of Indian medical council regulations. The petition also contends that the failure to prevent the pregnancy-related injury and the unjustified delay in the diagnosis of treatment amounts to a violation of the right to be free from torture, cruel, inhumane, degrading treatment or punishment, as under Article 7 of the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, to which India is part. In addition to the arguments made by HRLN, the Centre for Reproductive Rights submitted a very comprehensive supporting memorandum which set out what types of human rights are violated when a woman is denied access to maternal health care, and also India's obligations under international human rights law that are relevant to this case. I would like at this point to be able to give you an update on legal developments and court orders in the cases, but the case hasn't actually been heard yet. Since it was initially filed back in 2009, it has been listed on a total of 31 different occasions. But we have good news on this front, which is that when the court of Pradesh resumes again, it will be under a new Chief Justice Raia, who, unlike the former Chief Justice, is open and welcoming of public interest litigation. He's well known to HRLN and vice versa, and we're very optimistic that the case will be heard quickly and the likelihood for good orders. So, and also I'd just like to take this opportunity at this stage to thank the work. Conclude this presentation with reference to an old adage, which is that prevention is better than cure. The existence of obstetrics fistula in India in itself is reflective of the state's failure to provide and assure competent maternal health care. I think this is it captures what I'm trying to say. This is from the UN Population Fund. Obstetric fistula still exists because healthcare systems fail to provide accessible, quality maternal health care, including family planning, skilled birth attendance, basic and emergency obstetric care, and affordable treatment of fistula. In fact, I just read that if family planning was provided for all women who wanted, maternal deaths and morbidities could be reduced by as much as 20%. Because so many of the factors that contribute to directly and indirectly to fistula are also the factors leading to maternal mortality and morbidity, addressing obstetric fistula can serve as an entry point for the overall improvement of women's reproductive health and rights. It's likely that training in terms of diagnosis and treatment is going to be required, and also the lack of data available on prevalence and incidence of fistula in India needs to be addressed. An ongoing